Hello there, world of tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be breaking into my top 3 picks for the most underrated Tier 10 tech tree tanks in the game, and why I think that you should consider grinding them. In the number 3 position, we have the TVP 5051. This is a tank that was the most played medium in the game. And then Wargaming nerfed it, and now it's one of the least played mediums in the game. The tank still features incredibly dangerous capabilities. With a 1.88 second reload and 4 shells, this vehicle in around 5.6 seconds can deal 1200 damage, which is kind of crazy. The tank has 8 degrees of gun depression, a decent upper plate and turret. In general, the TVP is one of the hardest vehicles to deal with when played properly. And not only that, but it's rather troll. It's got super troll upper plate armor. The mantlet gets random bounces just because of the way it's designed. The TVP really is a rat tank. And if you know how to use it properly, it can be one of the best tanks to your disposal. But usually the major misplays when it comes to the TVP is in the player themselves. Because what you'll end up seeing is the majority of TVP players YOLOing into the front line 10 seconds after the battle starts, thinking that they are super dangerous and then dying. It happens way too often, and it's really stupid to watch. So because of that, it's something you are always going to have to keep in mind when going up against TVP players, or driving one yourself, is that maybe don't just YOLO. This tank doesn't feature crazy DPM, it's only got about 2600, but not only that, but its accuracy isn't incredible at .326 due to the nerf. It's not bad, I mean, you can still hit your shots, it's pretty accurate on move, but you're going to have to be very cautious. Now up against us, we don't really have any heavies, which is a little unfortunate, because the TVP really is an excellent heavy farmer. We can see the enemy Conf Panzer has decided to make his way over towards the heavy flank, though, which doesn't really make sense. We have the Badger. We got 1 shell into the Badger, 2 shells, and just like that, it's already 539 damage dealt. We're just going to start reloading the clip. This tank has a long reload, 20 seconds. Because of that, there's no reason for me to really save my shells, especially when I'm quite confident the enemy Badger is going to sit in that bush and try to stop me. Also because we have no support from our team. Oh, there's the enemy CS-63 pushing up. So we are going to play this as smart as I can. But I don't know what our team's doing. They need to push, and they are letting the enemy, just kind of take advantage of them. So that sucks. This is not a great start. I'm going to be real. This is a really bad start. We have the 50B, and the 50B was not able to detect me. Okay, well, we have the Badger. Oh, thank you, gun. Well, we got 1 pen into the Badger, and not able to do anything else to his tank. We have the 50B, we got 1 shell into the 50B, and 2 shells. I mean, we out-traded him quite easily. Again, this tank's intra-clip is so fast that even a tank like the AMX 50B, which does deal a lot of damage, really just can't compare to the 1.88 seconds of dumping time this vehicle features. So we're going to go fully wide here, and we're going to try and dig right up to this position. Let's hope that our concept, or 30B, does a decent job. Oh, okay, well that's not what I want. Let's get 1, let's get 2, 3, and 4. That right there was 1,200 hit points we just took off of that full health Badger. And what was a pretty healthy vehicle is now down to 400 health. Now it'd be great if our team grew a pair and did something about the base cap, but right now, nothing's really happening, which is a serious problem. I don't want to be shot by the Badger. Let's hope that no, he is still there. Alright, I'm going to cross this. I think we can. Oh, we also have the 907 in the back. There's 1, there's 2. 907 is dead, and that is obviously very nice. We're going to move up over here, and the Badger misses me, and we're going to aim it on the 907. There's 1, and 2. 640. I mean, we're already at 3,800 damage. And it really shows just how strong the TVP is. You don't need that much damage per minute to get a lot of damage dealt in a game. And we're seeing that here. I mean, the TVP really is an unstoppable force of nature when you're able to get that DPM working for you. So we get 1 shell, we get 2 shells, we get 3. Unfortunately, we are actually going to die. I probably shouldn't have YOLO'd this, but we get a nice shot, actually, into the enemy 50B. The grill is leaving, and with that in mind, we're going to make our way right over here into a position where I'm really hoping that the grill isn't going to focus us, or the Conf Panzer isn't going to YOLO us. We have 5 seconds left. Wow, we are actually going to live. Grill shot, we're going to aim in 1 HE and 2 HEs, and there you go. That's 830 damage. Ah, the Conf Panzer is a one-shot. That is why. I don't know why he let us get that shot off. I mean, I definitely should have died, but there you go. That is what the TVP 5051 can do. Over 5,000 damage dealt in this game, 5,700 to be exact, and we got an ace, and we easily did top on this team. It's just such a dangerous tank, and we even played kind of like a monkey. It's really early, it's 5 in the morning, and I'm a little sleep deprived, so obviously I'm playing this tank like a goofball. But you can, as I said, if you play early game smart, you can get away with aggressive plays late game. In that battle, it didn't really matter. We were going to win anyway. The enemy team was super low health. I just shouldn't have YOLO'd the CS. I should have waited a little bit more. I probably could have clipped the grill, and I would have been fine, but still worked out well for me, so I can't really get all too mad. That brings us to the next vehicle in today's list for the number 2 position, which is the VZ55. This is a tier 10 Czech heavy, and we were just taking a look at a Czech medium. The VZ55 is a tank I really enjoy, mainly for the fact that it's got good mobility, reaching a top speed of 38. It's got a good alpha at 470, fantastic levels of pen, 280 on the standard, 350 on the premium, and better than all of that is the fact that this tank is actually really accurate at .344 with the gun it features. I mean, it really is a nasty tank. It also features a ridiculously strong upper plate, a solid turret. It's kind of like, hey, this is a WZ-111 5A, and it's kind of been pushed down into the ground. But this is the VZ-55, and it's what the 5A really should be. And because of that, I've actually been enjoying this tank quite a bit. It's fun to play, it's got a good gun, and it really doesn't have many downsides going for it, apart from 2 issues. First of all, its side armor is pretty poor, and because of that, it's rather hard to side scrape effectively in the tank. Now, that's not to say you can't side scrape in it. If you're sitting at a 90 to 80 degree angle, you will probably get a lot of bounces. But at the same time, it's very easy to cut through this vehicle's armor if you simply shoot it in the track wheel when it's rolling around a corner, or if it over angles slightly, it's a lot easier to angle in, let's say, an IS-7. But the advantage of this tank over the IS-7 is better gun depression, a much better platform due to the haul-down capabilities it features, and a much better gun due to the increased penetration and accuracy. This is not my favorite map, being Port Bay, but the good thing about this vehicle is that it's flexible. It's got 7 degrees. That's what I would probably say the best part about this tank is that it's just a flexible tank. You can use it on any ridgeline, and you'll be quite solid. Now, unfortunately, really, guys, haul down tank, and you're both gonna drive your 10-degree gun depression heavy and 8-degree gun depression tank destroyer to flat ground town. That's incredible. Well, at the end of the day, and as I always say, it doesn't matter how good your tank is, it matters how bad your team is. And we're probably going to notice that here. Well, is the enemy team going to go here? That's a question that we have to ask ourselves. And no, it doesn't look like they are. We can see the E5, and oh, we can see the 200 LT. I'm really hoping that the E5 does exactly that, backs into the open, and allows us to get a nice 488 shell. As I pointed out, this tank has a pretty good alpha damage, and that alpha does allow you to get pretty good shells into your opponents. That 50B is very close to backing up, and there you go. Ooh, 539, and then the YAG absolutely ruins that guy's day. 50B bounces us just like that. Pretty good start to this game, if you ask me. Oh, we got the 200 LT on our side. Ooh, that was a bad shot. Not from us. We aimed that fine, but our RNG did clearly not enjoy us there. That Leopard is flanking into the spawn, and we are going to get a nice 390 damage shot into his tank. Now, while the Leopard 1 is not inherently that dangerous of a vehicle. It does... Oh my god, bro. We're gonna get screwed. There's a 50B on our side, and we had a lot of support, but that support seems to have quickly fallen off. Alright, well, we are going to aim it on the Leopard, and there you go. Nice 431 shot. That brings what was a pretty healthy tank down to 470. I don't know what to say. I mean, this is what happens when your team has no clue what they're doing. But it looks like we will win this result, which is quite good. The Leopard 1 is just kind of running around. The 50B's dead, and the game's already over. Well, I think we'll do another VZ game, actually. And I don't normally do, like, a lot of gameplay when it comes to longer style videos like this, but this team absolutely just did not want us to do well. I mean, we did fine still. We're at 3,000 damage, and we're going to be able to get, I would expect, a decent little juicer into this mill 2 here. So we're going to aim it on this tank. We're going to load in a high explosive, and there you go, 661. As we can see, flexibility is key, and we were able to use our flexibility here quite well. We have gotten out good bleeds, we've gotten out good damage, and we're going to get a win. So even though our team did not go the way I wanted them to, we were still able to use this tank's attributes and do pretty well. As I said, the side armor is pretty poor, and you notice the Leopard did not struggle with enemy at all. And that's where you're gonna run into some awkward situations with this tank, is when you do have mediums and lightly armored vehicles flanking you and dealing damage to you. But in general, tank did good. I actually think that I'm not going to do another game. It's late, I'm a little tired, and we did better than I thought we would, so I think we'll leave it in. In general, this is just a great tank for the majority of situations you play, and it's an enjoyable vehicle to drive. I like it. I think it's one of the more overlooked tier 10s. The only thing I will say is the line itself is pretty boring. The TNH 105 is actually pretty good, but the rest, the Skoda and the VZ are pretty mediocre, and the TNH VZ 51 is also pretty average, so it's really just the tier 10 that's good, and that's probably why the majority of people don't end up grinding this. Plus, it doesn't really look that spectacular on paper, but I can tell you that this is actually a really solid shout, and if you want a fun, solid, good heavy, this is one to go for. And that brings us to the final vehicle for today's video. In the #1 position, the BZ-75. This tank features two very solid gun options. You have a 130mm with good DPM, great accuracy. It's actually quite similar to the VZ-55 gun, it's just a great gun. And then we have the 152mm, which is what I recommend that people run on the tank. There's no reason to grind this vehicle unless you're running the 155mm. The 155 on this tank is just really fun, to be honest. It does 620 damage per shot with decent levels of AP penetration, and it has high explosive squash head, which deals 800-ish, 780 damage per shot if you pen. Not only that, but it's got upwards of 180 mils a pen. So yeah, this tank can be quite the stinker. The main advantage this vehicle has over something like a 60 TP is that its gun doesn't dunk into the dirt every shot you shoot. It's actually fairly accurate. It's not crazy accurate, and I'm not saying that this is going to be Leopard 1 levels of hitting your shots, but what I will say is that for the size of the cannon and the capabilities it has, it is more accurate than you would expect it to be. That's what I'll say. When it comes to the mobility, it's quick, reaches a top speed of 40, reverses at 15, has a solid power to weight. It's actually a very fun tank to drive because of the mobility and because of the gun depression. It has 8 degrees, so it's flexible, it's got mobility, and, well, does it have armor? That's the more disappointing part. Its armor's not bad, but it's definitely not good. You will need to load gold to pen the tank, but it's kind of like that of a mouse, where when you do load gold, its armor is quite easy to cut through. But again, it's got a really hard-hitting gun. So if, let's say, an E5 is aiming at you, and it shoots you with a heat shell in the turret for 340, and then you load premium high explosive and over-poke and shoot it in the lower plate for 780, that's a 2-to-1 trade, and that's quite impressive. And by the way, this tank doesn't have bad damage per minute. When firing standard, it's only around 2200. But when loading gold, it goes upwards of 2700. That's actually pretty effective DPM, and it means you should actually be a little careful when fighting against this tank. So let's get into a battle. Alright, here we are on Hellas. Let's make this a quick win so I can go to sleep. Up against us we have 3 heavies and a Badger. and a WZ. That's a really, really, really cringe lineup. So I'm actually going to focus on dealing with the mediums first. I think that's a smarter move, especially because they don't have too much mobility. It's just the WoTB. So I think if I help out the STB and I'm able to get the bat chat either cleared or panicked, it's a very, very easy winning situation. It would not surprise me if that WoTB is in the bush across from the 50B, judging where our STB got detected. Interesting. Okay. Well, we can see the TNH. Not seeing anything else. The XM's in mid. Oh, we saw a tree fall down there. And there's the WoTB. Well, we knew at some point he was going to get spotted. And there you go. 720 damage into his tank. As I said, this gun is pretty accurate, but what is a 150mm? And this WoTB has, well, screwed himself, to be quite honest. Well, let's aim it on the Badger. There you go. 600 damage shot. I like how the bat chat's now molding. I mean, you put yourself in an awful spot. You forced yourself in a position where you couldn't get out. So that's really not the tank's fault. I will tell you that. Oh, look at that. Nice little snap-a-rooney into the 50B there, taking off a very, very substantial amount of health. Well, we got 8 seconds left on the reload. We're going to wait right here. And, well, ideally, I would hope that we can get a good old juicer out, but I don't know. We're going to wait. Our team is not doing a great job here, though. Alright, we got the TNH in the back. And it's possible we can get a shell into the TNH. No, not yet. Alright, well, what I'm thinking is we're going to roll to the side of the E100. There you go. Get a nice little chunk out. But we are very frantically running into bad situations. The 50B is probably going to try and rush us. And wow, our team is sucking. It's not that hard to kill a Badger. It really isn't. But our team is making it very challenging to kill that Badger. Great job. Come on, back up. He's not going to. Yeah, that's pretty sad. I'm not going to lie. That's really sad. Wow. Every single one of our teammates died to a single healthy Badger. That's about as bad as you could make it. Well, crazy. I mean, we do a decent amount still. Even with our team sucking, we did a lot. We blocked a decent amount of damage. We supported our team. But it doesn't make a difference when this is the result you get given. This was such an easy win as well. But literally, 4 tanks could not kill a single Badger. That's really, really, really sad. I don't know what else to say. Our SDB did a good job. He supported me, so I can't really get mad at him. But the rest of our team, pretty disappointing, to say none the least. So, let's take a look at the post-game results. What we can say is that the gun on the BZ-75 worked more than fine. The damage per minute was not a problem. We were able to chunk out shells, and the reactive armor on that 50B literally meant nothing because this tank has Hesh, and Hesh doesn't get affected by reactive armor. So as we can see, we did pretty good. 3,600 damage, which was even more than the enemy team. We had a very solid result here. And I've been doing very solid results in the BZ-75. 50 games, 80% win rate with 35-60 average damage. It is just an incredibly fun tank. Its gun and damage outputs are really, really good. And because of that, I thoroughly enjoy playing in this tank. So if you want my opinion, this is a really good tier 10. I think all the tanks I've listed are really good and underrated tier 10s that people do not give enough credit. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. If you'd like to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye!